were really sick for 2 days this week. We got a stomach flu or food poisoning or something. I'm not sure what it was. But we were in terrible shape for about 2 days. And we worked a little bit yesterday evening, and today we feel much better. So we're back at it. And what we're doing here, we cut the number of beds down that we're going to make for this year because it's just getting so late in the season. So we're going to make 4 of these beds, and then we're going to be getting 2 cut for a friend of ours. So, and what we're doing, Neil's cutting one whole piece of, this is the metal, remember, that came off of our house. And it's been laying here under the cover of our patio for a while. So Neil is cutting that off in 8-foot lengths. And how wide is it going to be? I mean, it's 3 feet wide, but what's the depth?
18 inches.
18 inches. So first of all, the first thing he's doing is cutting it in 2. So this right here will make 1 bed, plus the ends we'll have to cut off. So we'll let you follow along as Neil starts on his second bed. And this is really hard to cut. It has a time limit. I guess it means that this metal is pretty good. I'm going to get off and help him lift this off, and then we'll be back in just a minute. Now, we're making these 3 foot wide, and the reason being is that if it's 4 feet wide, on a lot of tall people it would be fine. But where I'm 5'3" and just a little bit more, and probably getting shorter all the time, it's easier to have it 3 feet wide. So we're going to make all of them the same width. What he does, he just measures it like he did right then, and then he uses his T-square to make sure he's got a good straight line to cut by. And this, let me show you what the little thing he's cutting with. I don't know what it's called. Do you know what it's called, Neil? Inline air shears, that's what it's called. He got this from Northern Hydraulic.
Yep.
He got that from Northern Hydraulic. But he didn't get it for this project. We've had that for a while. We got it when we were making our other beds over in Leslie County. So now he's marking that off. And he does have pencils, carpenter's pencils, but during the move we lost them all. So hopefully when we ever get a chance to go through all of our junk here, we'll run up on them. We may have to buy some more, he's right. We have lost, I don't know how many things in this move.
We went to the flea market up there the other day with a whole bunch of stuff I think we could have got.
Yeah. We may have to make another trip to the flea market.
Screwdrivers for the screwdriver?
Yeah.
And the pencils too.
And he got him some gloves up there the other day. That's the ones he's wearing right now. And they look like they're pretty good, and they were like $5. So if they hold up well, he's... So here's Neil cutting another piece. You can see that is not an easy task. And we're cutting these right here for our friend Ralph. And this makes, he's got his two main parts of his bed cut now. And then he's got two ends cut. So he's got 4 sides, or 8 sides and 2 ends. He's got to split 2 of the sides though. And since soil's so expensive, we decided we'd just go with half of it too. Now he's going to get the other 2 ends for Ralph's cut now. This, I think, is a lot heavier than the other metal that we used before. I believe it's a lot better metal. And it is very difficult to cut. Now I'm going to get out here and help him a little bit because it makes it a lot easier for him to cut it if I can hold it a little bit more even. Now Neil is getting ready to put some peat moss in the beds, and he's working at the bottom end of the garden, and this is just in front, probably 15 feet in front of our fence, and he's putting some peat moss in there. And this is a little bit damper area, and so we wanted to put that in there maybe to dry it up a little bit. But he's going to put that in first, just a thin layer. And we will probably do this in all of our beds, just one thin layer. Then we'll have a mix of the garden soil and compost. We'll probably put maybe just a little bit of lime in some of this in order to break down the soil that we're putting in, the garden soil, because it
has a lot of clay in it. And we'll add some vermiculite also to give a little air into the beds. Now there will be other things that we add, like a little bit of organic fertilizer, some aged chicken manure, and different things like that we usually put in our beds. But what he's doing at this particular time is just putting the peat moss in the bottom. Now with this next one, you will see our entire process. He puts the metal down inside the beds. Now these are our 2 feet by 4 feet beds. He cuts them just a tad big so that he can kind of bend them up so that they go up the side just a little bit so nothing could get inside the bed. You can see he's carefully feeding it all around the entire bed. The next thing that he does is he cuts a piece of the material to go on top of that will stop weeds from coming through, or grasses. And we originally bought this. This was some that we had left over from a couple years ago. And as you can tell, this is pretty good material. And then he takes that out and puts that down into the bed. And as with the other, he fits it up against the sides and the ends really good. And then he'll make sure when he puts the soil in that he pushes up the edges. And the next thing he does is he staples that onto the wood in the corners that he's put in to hold the bed in place. Really good. He may later put some metal in there, I'm not sure, but the word wood seems to be working really well right now. He tries to get this just as tight as he possibly can, because that's going to make it so much easier for him as he puts the soil in. Then, as an extra security measure, he puts these little round staples in, we call them. Now this bed is ready for the peat moss. And he's opening a new path there. So again, he's going to fill the bed all the way across with maybe an inch or half an inch of the peat moss. And here he's finished this bed and has the peat moss in that one. So after he puts the peat moss in, he dampens that down all the way across, and that allows the peat moss to expand, kind of like those little peat pots that you buy to start your seeds in. But he dampens it good all around. Now this is later, and this is Neil and Ralph, our neighbor, and ours, and they are putting together Ralph's beds. Well, that's looking good, isn't it?
And we got about 6-7 cut out.
Well, that looks good. I like the way those corners are going to look.
We cut these off now.
These two work well together, so it didn't take them very long until they had Ralph's two beds finished, and we'll be working on ours later. Today, while Neil had a dental appointment, I thought I would run through our local vendors mall and see what I liked. And I really like this work table. Look how nice that is. It was $150. I didn't buy it, of course, but it was really nice. And the other thing that I saw that I really liked was all of these washboards, I guess you call them, or scrub boards. It's the ones you used to use many years ago to clean clothing. I thought one of these would look good hanging up in your utility room. Friends, if you've liked our video today, please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so if you like our channel. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope you will join us again next week when we will again be working on our garden, and hopefully we'll have all the soil in it and maybe even start some of the planting. Bye, friends.